Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, so episode 3, we're carrying on with the build of the shelf automatic layout. In this video we'll be looking at building up some more of the scenery and also looking at the road. So let's begin. So starting off, I'm painting the foam board, painting that all in brown, getting that ready then for ballasting and then putting static grass on. But just to have an undercoat of brown, so just any gaps, you don't just see nice white polystyrene, you will see brown, which ideally will look then like the mud. So I'm going to paint all of this, so I better get on with that. So all nicely painted, ready now to start thinking about the next stage. So the next stage is just building up the back. So this is going to be like a mini car park and extension to the station. So I'm just using cheap filler. I think I got this from Asda for a few quid. And I'm just filling up, trying to level out the back so it's sort of same height roughly as the platforms, to put the station building on the platform and the back of that, just give it a bit more space. Then also I'm going to have a bit of a car park towards the right of the camera, just park 2 or 3 vehicles, and then put a bit of shrubbery around the edges of it. So just building that up now. So yeah, so it's going on okay nicely so far. So my plan is to do this in about 2 or 3 attempts. So I've done 1 layer already, and then I let that dry. And then I go back over it once it's dry with another layer, and all I'm doing is trying to create a bit of height and then trying to get it smooth-ish. It doesn't need to be too smooth, because all I'm going to do is get some sandpaper once I'm happy with the height and just smooth it down, so it's not 100% smooth but smooth enough. So all I'm using is a filler knife and just laying out the filler across all of there. And then I'll let it dry, then do the same again with another layer. Do 2 or 3 layers until it's the right height, sand it and then paint it. So whilst that dries, I've added some sandpaper down. This is to be used as the road surface. So I've put probably too much PVA glue underneath, but I'm going to paint it anyway. But this is to create some sort of texture of the road. So this is sandpaper I got from B&Q. I brought this grey colour because I want the road to be grey, so I should only need a couple of coats of paint over it. I also brought, this is the pack, sorry, even. So it's Norton assorted paper, and this is the fine stuff. And then I've super glued the edges, just to get a nice neat fit on the edge of the board. So all I'm doing is my idea is just to, with a ruler and pencil, go over it, and I'm going to show you what I need to do, because obviously the landscape is not completely straight. So mark out where I need to cut, and I'm going to cut it out, glue it in place, and then I'm going to spray paint it later on. Spray paint it because if I use a brush, the bits will come off onto the sandpaper because of the grittiness. If I spray it on, then it should be fine. So I'm going to quickly zoom through this and we'll move on to the next stage. So I'm just going to add some weights now to this. I've probably put too much glue down, to be honest with you, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too big an issue. If it doesn't look great, I can always take it up, it's not an issue. So just adding some weight to it. I'm going to let that set overnight, and then we'll come back to it the following day and see how it looks, but it should hopefully be okay. So I've been experimenting while it's doing. So this is a stone textured spray paint, being this one. Got both of these from B&Q. So it's a stone effect just to add even more texture to the sandpaper. And then this middle section, once it's dried, I've gone over it with a grey spray paint, so you can see the colour difference. this surface primer in grey. I'm using a matte finish because I don't want it to be a glossy finish. So that's what I'm doing so far. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I think it'll do for now, and then at a later date I can always change it if I'm not 100% happy. So moving on, the next thing I did was actually pin the track into place, with the idea that I'm going to glue it into place at a later date. For now, it will be just pinned in. With a small little hammer, I got this from Hobbycraft, really handy for the smaller nails. Just going to put in some pins just to hold the track in place, because I would like to, on the next video, start ballasting and adding some greenery, as well as finishing off the platform area. So getting there slowly, not as much progress as I'd like to do over the last few days, but got there eventually. So quite happy, it's coming along nicely. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully this time next week there'll be another one out with some ballast added and some greenery. But yes, so if you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed, like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.